Yo, it's TheGIBBYNATR. In this video, I'm going to be sharing 7 things that you should never do in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Before we get into it, me and It's Lukey are giving away a free copy of Modern Warfare, so if you'd like the chance of winning that, go into the description, follow the link, and you'll be entered. Right, so getting into the tips, these are things that you should really never do. They're going to get you killed and they're going to stop you from doing well and improving as a player in Modern Warfare. The first thing is to never super sprint round corners. So I've got into this really bad habit because the maps are really big and you want to move around them as fast as you possibly can. You constantly super sprint. And what super sprinting is, if you don't know, is when you double click your right stick down to activate your sprint, where you actually point your gun up into the air and you sprint the fastest you possibly can, which is obviously good in some cases. But if you just do it all the time and it becomes kind of your default sprint, there's a reason there's a standard sprint and then a super sprint. And you have to use the different types of sprint in different situations. So for example, if you're at the spawn and you're just at the start of the game, then using your super sprint is going to be absolutely fine. You're not in danger. But if you're mid-map going around a corner, using your super sprint probably isn't a good idea. Sprinting, I still wouldn't recommend, but it's better than super sprinting. And best of all, you want to be pre-aiming. That's how you're going to win the most gunfights, by pre-aiming around corners. So instead of just mindlessly sprinting everywhere, and I know it's difficult because the maps are huge and sometimes it feels like you can't find anyone, so you're just super sprinting everywhere. But in reality, you're basically a headless chicken and you're going to get yourself killed. So that's the first tip of what you should never do in Modern Warfare. Don't super sprint around corners and just consciously use your super sprint. Use it in the right situations. Moving on to the second tip, we've got never lean. So in Modern Warfare, there's a new mounting feature where you can actually mount your weapon on surfaces. So that could be either leaning on a wall, or it could be getting, like, actually, if there's like a waist height wall, you can put your weapon on top of that. And so what I would recommend is that you choose the walls that are kind of horizontal instead of vertical ones. So instead of leaning, I want you to be hiding behind cover. So if you didn't know, when you actually lean in Modern Warfare, from your perspective, it looks like you're barely showing any of your body. But when you actually look at it from the enemy's perspective, you are showing literally your entire body. It is completely pointless to lean if you're trying to not get yourself killed. However, it does reduce your recoil and makes you more accurate, but you're still completely showing your body. So in some cases it's fine. So if you're looking into an open space where there's no places that people can be hiding, which is rare in Modern Warfare, then it'd be okay to use. But if you're peeking at people that are in mad head glitches and crazy places, then it's not the smartest thing to use the lean. Instead, I would prefer for you to go and find horizontal surfaces to go and mount your weapon on, because in that case you've got your whole, like, half of your body protected, and then the only bit showing is your head. And then you're going to get the benefit of the increased accuracy from mounting your weapon. So just think about that and go for spots where you can mount your weapon, because it is seriously OP. You can win literally every gunfight because the enemies are only going to see your head, and you're going to be covered, and you're going to have good accuracy. So it is really great. Give it a shot. Moving on to the third thing you should never do in Modern Warfare, it's using your ammo crate straight away. So in Modern Warfare, you get field upgrades, and one of the best ones that you unlock early on in the game is ammo crates. And what that essentially allows you to do is throw down ammo so you can resupply your bullets. And obviously, that is really helpful if you're going on a long streak and you run out of bullets in your gun. However, what I see a lot of people doing is just as soon as they get it, even if they've just started a new life, they'll use it when they don't need it yet. So something that I'd recommend you do is wait till you're on like a decent streak. Wait till you're on like a 6, a 7, maybe an 8 kill streak, and then put it down. Obviously, if you're out of ammo before then, use it. But it's that key, waiting till you actually need it. Because otherwise, you might put it down right at the start of your life, and then you'll die 1 kill after. So it was just a complete waste. So just be smart about when you're using your ammo crates, and you'll definitely begin to see that you're doing better and you're going on longer streaks. It's just a smart thing to do, so get used to doing it. Moving on to the fourth thing you should never do in Modern Warfare, it's copying YouTubers' class setups. And so I'm saying this because in Modern Warfare, there's so much diversity in the class setups that you can create. You can really personalize your weapon to whatever style you play with. So for example, if you're just a standard player that's got around 1 KD, if you're watching someone like the Korean Savage who has, I don't know, about 3 or 4 KD and can get nukes like they're nothing and sprint around like a crackhead, then using his class setups isn't going to be the smartest thing for you to do, because his weapon's going to be optimized for his playstyle, not your playstyle. So for example, if you're a much slower passive player, you don't want to be putting on all the speed perks and stuff like that. It's just a waste. You want to put things on that are going to optimize for your sake. And so it's just thinking about designing your own class setup, and look at the attributes of all the attachments and all the perks and think, is this good for me? Or is it not good for me? And then you can go from there and really optimize your class setups to suit you as a player, rather than just having someone else's class setup on and doing awful with it. Moving on to the 5th thing you should never do in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It's another one that involves attachments, and it's unnecessarily maxing out the amount of attachments on your gun just because you want to max it out and have 5 attachments on your weapon. It's a complete pointless act. And so I'll now explain this. So every single attachment, well, pretty much all of the attachments in Modern Warfare have pros and they have cons. A lot of the cons are decreased aim down sight speed or decreased accuracy. So you're going to recoil more, you're going to have less aiming stability. Now, if you're just smashing on loads of attachments because you just unnecessarily, you don't care, you just want them on, you don't know why you're doing it, you're just doing it, all of those cons are going to add up. So you're going to be putting on these attachments and they're going to be giving you cons. They're going to be making your weapon worse, essentially. So if you don't need an attachment, if it's not a necessity for you to play well, then don't have it on. So for example, if you can manage the recoil of the Kilo, don't bother putting a grip on it, because it's just going to make your ADS time slower and you are going to be... it's just pointless. It's not going to help you. You could do just as well, if not better, without it, because you're going to have that increased ADS speed. So it's just something to think about whenever you put an attachment on your gun. Think about the pros and the cons. Don't just put attachments on because you want to max your class out. It's stupid. Don't do it. Moving on to the 6th thing that you shouldn't do in Call of Duty Modern Warfare is hip firing. So hip firing in Modern Warfare is super random. One time, you can absolutely laser beam someone from miles away with a hip fire. Next gunfight, you literally won't get a single hit marker at point blank. It is super inconsistent. So any time that you can aim down your sight, so in any gunfight that you can aim down your sight, you should. If you have the time to do it, you definitely should, because you're going to be way more consistent and you've got a much higher chance of actually getting those kills. So don't hip fire in Modern Warfare, especially if you're using an assault rifle. They're just goddamn awful. Unless you even if you've got your gun on their head, sometimes they'll kill you first. Because they're aiming down their sight. So it's just something to think about. Moving on to the final thing you should never do in Modern Warfare, it's crouching during gunfights. Now in Modern Warfare there is a crazy high headshot multiplier. So that means that getting headshots in this game is so easy, because you only have to put about 2 bullets into the enemy's head and they'll die. But that means it's the same for you. So if you're in a gunfight and you crouch during the gunfight, that's most likely going to put you at a higher risk of getting headshots on you. So if the enemy normally aims at the chest height and then you crouch, you're putting your head right into their sight, and they're just going to mount you and beam you straight away. And it's definitely something worth considering if you're someone that likes drop shotting. This could be a reason that it's not as effective in this game, and that's why I think they've done it. It's tried to counter the drop shotters, because they really don't want aggressive players to do well in this game for some reason. They want to accommodate to the less kind of good players, I'm going to say it, the campier people. So drop shotting has been kind of completely nerfed, because as soon as you get into that crouch position, you're going to get pinged by a headshot and you're going to die. So it's definitely worth considering. I would prefer jump shotting, but even jump shotting's a bit crap in this game because you don't jump very high. So you've just got to really rely on your gun skill and connection, which kind of sucks. But just don't crouch in gunfights, because you are going to get yourself headshotted, you're going to get mad, and you're going to get loads of unnecessary deaths. But yeah, that's been the video from me. If you've got any other things that you think you should never do in Modern Warfare, comment them down below. If you'd like to enter the giveaway, make sure you do that. There is a link in the description on how you can do so. And yeah, if you could leave a like on the video, that'd be great if you found it helpful. Also subscribe if you want to see any more videos just like this. It's been the GIBBYNATR, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.